My name is Nicholas Njige.
My name is Sebastian.
I am Panavi. I'm Grace Maringanga.
I'm Ruth. Diane Stevenson.
Jen McGaddy.
Samir Kadewa.
Christina Vivid.
Safi Uzaye.
Jaja Uzaye.
Agatha Kinethia.
Faiza.
Dr. John Mwangi.
My name is Deandra Weeks, and I am with Vitenda for Africa.
I am with Vitenda for Africa.
And I am with Vitenda for Africa. And I am with
Vitenda for Africa.
I am with
I'm with
I am with
I am with Vitenda for Africa.
Hello, my name is Leah Njoroge, and I am a software engineer at Express Scripts. I've been part of Express Scripts for 3 years now. My journey through tech started at a coding bootcamp that was introduced to me by Jeffrey Slantet in the summer of 2018. And around that time, I was a bioengineering student looking to switch my major, and I didn't know what I wanted to switch it to. So Slantet told us about this coding bootcamp that was offering a scholarship for people who wanted to gain an understanding of technology, and so I decided to be part of Claim Academy. I went in not knowing much of what it is to be a programmer, and I didn't have an understanding of Java, which Java was the language that I learned at the time. Everything that I learned, the whole full stack development, I learned at Claim Academy. Another thing I came to appreciate about Claim Academy is the fact that they offered a lot of mentorship throughout the process, from helping us with deciding on our projects, helping us on our resumes, and helping us with different ideas that we would like to pitch in the future to companies, helping us with opening LinkedIn profiles. I didn't have a LinkedIn profile when I joined Claim Academy. So there's like so much that I learned from Claim Academy. And then 3 months after finishing Claim Academy, I got a job offer at Express Scripts, and it has been the amazing experience. I love it here. I love how the work environment just allows me to grow in so many ways, that I'm not limited to just learning about coding, that I can look into different things. I can look into cloud, I can look into cybersecurity, just, you know, it's just very broad. And I just love the freedom that I get from it, the schedule, you know, and the people that I've met through technology who have inspired me to, you know, do different things and to look into different things. One of the big questions that I do get is, how do I navigate through this space that's very much male dominated? And it's honestly just surrounding myself with positive reinforcement. I am part of online groups such as Afrotech and Black Women in Tech and Minorities in Tech, just these spaces that open me up to a lot of people who look like me, and they just kind of keep pushing for, you know, let us learn this, and there's a lot of like sessions that, you know, especially Afrotech does host a lot of sessions to talk about what is new in technology and what kind of spaces can we fill in technology.
12 years, I started as actually an intern in the .NET space. So I was a C# developer, then transitioned to be a Java full stack developer. And then from there, I went to doing cloud computing, scripting to automate stuff in, especially in AWS. And as part of that was to set up an API platform that is used for streaming data from cloud and from machines and all that. So the biggest part of that was for a company called Climate, which is a sister company. It's an umbrella company to Bear now, where we have machines that are in the field as they are harvesting whatever they're harvesting. It might be wheat or soybean. they collect information on like the moisture content of the produce they're harvesting, how much each acre is producing, and then they stream that from the combine harvester back to the crowd, and then we can be able to pass that information on to our data analytics teams, who can analyze and say how much produce are we expecting from a particular field, are we meeting our produce targets, and so on and so forth. And then after that, I had always had an interest in cybersecurity. I got an opportunity to cross over and start doing cybersecurity. Specifically, my specialty is forensic analysis and insider threat protection. So that's the space currently I'm in. I'm enjoying it. I can say, I'm happy of the background that I have because I'm technical, which comes in handy as you're doing other things, especially in the cyberspace, right? You're able to automate stuff. You're able to use, especially scripting, for example, Python, to go, for example, look at artifacts and extract what you're interested in to look at, and so on and so forth. Then, being technical also, and especially with my background in crowd technology, I'm able to understand, for example, if you're looking at troubleshooting or trying to understand a malware in the crowd, you might be able to have a better grasp of understanding what is happening as you're looking at whatever you're looking at. You can be able to follow how that malware, for example, is moving from one environment to another, and how maybe you can stop it, and where you can see logs and so on and so forth. So I would say with a software development background, that has been very helpful to me to be able to be successful in what I'm currently doing. And then understanding the engineering aspect of what I've done, and being an architect, I'm able to bring solutions in-house or using crowd technology to design solutions. For example, one of the biggest problems now is everybody working from home. How do you still make sure that you're able, for example, to correct artifacts from a machine that is not in the office anymore, it's at somebody's house, and be able to analyze that, right? So maybe just sitting in an office to do that is not practical to do. So how do you do it? And so we are leveraging crowd, both AWS and Microsoft Azure, to be able to accomplish the same tasks. So that is helpful, that I can be able to design and scale solutions in the crowd, and to be able to understand how they interact with networks and other things. Yeah, so it has been an interesting journey. As Geoffrey reached out and he told me he wanted to talk about my career, I'll say from the very beginning, I've been very fortunate to have people who believed in me, who saw the potential I had, and they were nice enough to give me advice, right? I would say for anyone who is on this call and they're interested in tech, you have to have people that are going to challenge you, people who tell you the truth even when you don't want to hear it, right? And people who are going to be your ears. I call them people you can go sound ideas to, say, hey, this is what I'm facing, this is what I'm planning to do. And they can tell you, yeah, go talk to this person, or that's a good idea, have you considered ABC, right? So I don't believe to be successful in any space, you can do it by yourself. I think you have to have a tribe around you, and that tribe will be people who challenge you, people who will be there for you. And so that has been very helpful for me. As I've transitioned into, for example, cybersecurity, I didn't know a lot of people in the cyberspace. And so that was a little bit of a challenge, but I kept going and talking to people. And I ended up not having people didn't have enough information to tell me what I needed to know. And I remember reaching out to our chief security information officer at that time and saying, hey, this is what I'm trying to do. This is my background. This is what I've been able to achieve. And I know I can be, I can add value in the cybersecurity space. So what do you think? How should I go about it? And he actually laughed and he said, wow, you're bold to, just reach out to me and talk about this. Why don't we meet over coffee? And we met, we talked, and they had a problem they were trying to address. And I said, have you guys tried ABC? And he's like, just out of your mind, you're able to pull an idea and you think it can work? I'm like, yeah, I think that idea can work. So I ended up getting up, I think it was a 3 weeks assignment to help out with that. But then I was successful in doing that the manager I was working for just hired me full-time on this team. So I transitioned. I didn't even interview. It was just a weird kind of a scenario. But again, you never know who has the information and who can be your next key to your next door. So I would encourage you to speak to people, speak up about what your interests are, let other people know, because you never know. And then believe in yourself, right? Spend a lot of time understanding where you are and where you want to go, and be able, for example, if say you are interested in software development, why are you interested in that? And somehow have a vague plan, even if it's not something concrete, but have an idea of where you want to go, and then try to pursue that. That would be my encouragement. And then we have a lot of people who, unlike the times for us who were coming to the US, we didn't have a lot of people who are in the careers. Right now, we have a lot of people who are career professionals, I'll say. So Geoffrey knows a lot of us, so he can always connect you with somebody who you can talk to and see what your interests are. So that my encouragement will be speak up, seek out information. And with YouTube and online courses, you can learn anything you put your mind to, right? So you don't have to go to school to learn stuff. You can start teaching yourself stuff. That's the best way to learn. And to be successful in this space, you have to always be knowing that you're going to be running stuff. So it's not a space that you just, because I went to school and I think I know what I was taught some years back, that is changing every day. And so you have to be willing to learn what is new, how are some of the, what has changed, and be able to change with that. So with that, I don't know, I think there's somebody trying to ask a question or something like that. I'm not sure. Otherwise, I'll pass it on to the next speaker. Thank you.
Okay, great. So again, thank you to Vitendo Africa for having me. I am Psyche Southwell. I'm your Caribbean sister, so also an immigrant, born and raised in St. Kitts in the Eastern Caribbean. And unlike my fellow speakers tonight, I actually do not have a background in computer science at all. So if there's any takeaway from me being here and anything I say tonight is, if you have an interest in logical thinking, you have an interest in technology, you want to be innovative when it comes to problem solving, tech might actually be an opportunity for you, and it's never too late to get started. So in terms of a background, I have graduate degrees in economics. I was born in a country that was considered third world in my lifetime. So I thought economic development was the approach I wanted to take. I came here to go to WashU. That's what initially brought me to St. Louis. And I ended up going into academia, doing work on anti-poverty. I worked with the National Center for Poverty Research at the University of Kentucky. I worked with the Center for Social Development here at Washington University in the George Warren Brown School of Social Work. Again, always interested in problem solving, with poverty being, I just think, one of the hugest failings of our country and this world in particular. And while I was in school, I actually started an online platform where I shared ideas about a number of topics I was really interested in. And that actually took off when digital media, as we know it today, Instagram and Facebook, it became a huge business, and it kind of took over my world. So I became somewhat of a little bit of a digital expert, working in marketing, working with big brands like Target, Saks, Fifth Avenue. I've worked with Dove. But it was while I was doing that digital marketing work, I grew more and more dissatisfied with not knowing a whole lot about the apps that I relied on so heavily. Instagram could change their algorithm in one day, and it affects everything about how I do my work and the impact or the outcomes for the work that I was doing. So I got more and more interested in tech. And last year I decided to take a plunge, when the world slowed down for a lot of us. I had an opportunity and I went the boot camp route. That's how I met Dennis. He was actually my mentor, talking about mentors here tonight. And I did that training, again, interested in apps, applications, how they're integrated. I graduated boot camp and went on the market, and I was fortunate to land a really cool position, which kind of became full circle for me. I work for Capacity, which is an artificial intelligence software company, and the company pretty much creates a bot that automates anything you could think about when it comes to the work process. And I have the privilege of working on the apps team, doing integrations where we make our bots smarter. If there's something a company wants this bot to be able to do, like clock them in, clock them out, whatever it is, I make that happen and work on a very small team of 3 people. And we make that happen for them by doing API integrations and writing functions to make sure that they could actually produce the kind of outputs that they want to get the skills that a company might want. And that has been just really kind of interesting work. I've had a good time at this company because unlike the larger field of tech, they're kind of like a little bit of a bubble. Seems very inclusive. I am not the only Black person there. I am among a number of women. There are a number of women in leadership positions, and that was one of the things that really attracted me to that company in particular. So I've had a really good time working there. I've got to work with some big clients. We have mortgage lenders, a bunch of clients that we work with, and I get to build out the applications that make the bot that they use on an everyday basis smarter and answer the questions or provide the skills that they want that bot to be able to provide. So I look forward to any questions. And again, the thing I really want to leave with is, if you're interested in this work, there are ways to get into it, even if you don't have a background in computer science. When I came to this country way back when, I'm a whole lot older than I might look, I had very limited experience even with a computer. So something like computer science was not even something that I fathomed. So that now, several years later, I could be working in this field. It just means that anybody can absolutely do this. Passing it to you, Dennis.
Thank you, Psyche. Thank you so much, Geoffrey, and thank you, Kungu. I hope you people can see me well. Yeah.
I don't think there's anything you can do about your color, so we just gotta live with it.
So basically, I can say that I've had so many good things about the IT, about people who have transitioned into this area. And I want to pick up from where Psyche has left this thing from. Psyche came in to our academy, that is Claim Academy. Actually, she has no background in technology at all, but there's one thing which I want to pass on to any person who wants to join technology in here. One thing I saw with Psyche while in school, this lady used to write down each and everything you tell her. She had like a small book where she would write down each and everything you passed down to her. Why am I bringing in this concept of trying to write down each and everything being told to you? By doing that, you get to say, now I don't know much about this field, but I need to gain more within a short time. And you know what? The moment you take that pen and write that thing down, when you get back home, you're going to read about it. So what we do at the Academy, we provide you with a platform whereby our main aim is to change your life. And my dear people, what I can tell you is anybody can be a developer. If you're looking at getting into software development, I had the first speaker say something on how he got into a team of cybersecurity. If you are really keen on that, he said that he was given an assignment, but before the assignment, there was a question which came up and he provided a solution that impressed the people who were there. I heard what Psyche said, that when she came in, she was in digital marketing, but she needed a transition into this other field. And what I can say is, I normally tell all my students this, that Psyche is now an expert, Eldad Kungu is now an expert, but believe me, all of them at one time were once beginners in this thing and they knew nothing, but the energy in it and the positivity in it made them be at least where they are. So for anybody who is joining us today, there's nothing difficult. Forget about the age, forget about the finances, focus on the positive energy. Do I want to do this? Yes, I want to do it. Who can help me do this? Vitendo for Africa is here for you. They want to help you do this. We have the academies like Claim Academy is here for you. They want to help you do this. So what I will tell you is, I won't go deep into any programming technique or anything. What I will tell you is, what you need to transition into technology is basically just a positive energy. That, you know what, I'm going to do this thing and I feel positive about it. And at the back of your mind, always know that that expert you are seeing, that Kungu you hear speak, this Psyche you hear speak, the Geoffrey you hear speak, they were once beginners at something. So this is my time to begin this thing. This is my time to start into technology. I might not be so strong in it, but I can do something in it. And when it comes to learning, it simply matters the instructor or the person you're going to meet. If you meet a good person who will take you slowly, then you find that it becomes an interesting field. There is a notion out there that technology is actually very difficult, is only for a few, a male-dominated field. Psyche has told us one thing, that in her company, at least there are so many people in there. She's not the only black person who is there. So this tells you that there's diversity in this field. So I will encourage any person who is always there, or any person who is always willing to join this field, but needs to think twice. What you need is not the computer science degree, is not the economics degree. We only need the positive energy that I'm willing to do this and to take it to the next level.
Another question I get through technology is, do you need to have a big degree to be part of tech? And the answer to that is no. Is honestly, there's so many online resources that you can utilize. You know, there's Code Academy, Udemy, Coursera. I mean, the list goes on to like these online courses. They offer like free sessions so you can learn and just kind of have like a gauging understanding of like what you would like to tap into. And from there you can decide to either, you know, go back to school and get your computer science degree. But it's not a major requirement to have your master's or, you know, bachelor's. It's just more of a work experience thing and understanding. Honestly, my experiences in technology have been awesome. I have come to learn so much that I have applied outside to my personal projects and wanting to be, you know, part of startups or wanting to even open a startup myself. So technology honestly has opened me up to such a creative field of things, and I would inspire, you know, for those who are looking to be part of technology, you know, just start now. Like, technology is one of those spaces that thrives on problem solving, and there's so many, I feel like there's so many ideas that people have, and like I feel like they're just limited to, oh no, I can't be part of this because I don't have knowledge. But it's not true. It's just using Google. It's just a matter of like going into Google and looking, you know, how can I go about navigating about this idea that I want to start and potentially making it an application. So tech is just one of those like broad things. It's constantly growing, it's constantly thriving. There's so much opportunity here. And yeah, that has been my story in technology.
Sharing. That's beautiful sharing. I think if you combine those three and you're here today and you have ever found yourself on a crossroad in terms of what direction you want to go. And I think they've brought it home. In the SR, I don't know whether this order was done in purpose in terms of Kungu, Psyche, and then I don't know whether it was that purpose, but to me, I think it came directly home in terms of the people, and I think the people that we have here today. If you don't know what you're getting to, if you're already in something and you want to get into final to a different path in career, it's about the attitude. It's about the energy that you plant into it. And I think what I'll give now, I'll give people an opportunity to ask questions. I think there are a lot of, at the beginning, we have a lot of names that were thrown in that are, API, application programming interface, all those words. And I think most people might be interested to know exactly what it means. What's AWS? Why do I need certification in AWS? There are probably other details that people might be interested in. But I think as we ask those questions, I think if we can answer the very first question, which I believe will not be directed to anybody, is do I really want it? And I think that one we can't ask any of the presenters today. But they posed that question to us at the beginning. Do you really want it? Because they said, if you really want it, then we can get it. They can only help you in terms of the logistics of getting there. But the aspect of bringing you to want it, to where you can get it, I don't think they can do a whole lot. But I think I have to say, guys, that was probably a wonderful job. These are some of things that we pay a whole lot of money to attend, just for people to kind of give you that confidence and understanding that whatever somebody has ever painted in your life that is so far from you, or it's never achievable, can never be done, it's a lie. I mean, we have those people here now testifying with great testimonies of what they have done. And if you're here with us and this is a door that you have always thought of knocking, and basically they're telling you it's not just knocking, push it, it will be open. And I think I'll give everybody a chance who is here, ask a question based on what these guys are experts in these areas. If they are not, they'll direct you where the resources is. That's basically what we have learned today. So feel free to ask questions. And I really, really appreciate our presenters today. Guys, thank you. It is not in vain. And I can tell you this, when you leave this presentation today, just know it is not in vain. A lot of people take a lot of information here and it becomes very, very useful to them, and not only to them, but their families too. So we truly appreciate that you also spare your time to share with us your knowledge. So I'll open it up. If you have a question, or if you have posted a question, I'll check if there are any questions that I need to post. I think the first one I see here, somebody asked, how do you get to Claim Academy?
Right. Getting into Claim Academy, basically, we have like 2 steps of coming in. And the first step is we will give you a pre-coursework whereby we give you some tutorials for you to study on your own. The reason we do this is for you to see that, is this what I really want to do? Because, there are some people who come into technology, they say, I want to do this because of the finances. Then you might not last a lot. If you want to do it because it pays more, you might not last a lot. But if you want to do it because of the passion, we send you those pre-tutorials. Then we give you like 9 questions for you to attempt. In these questions, what we are looking at is not a perfect answer. Because if you give us the perfect answer, it is as well saying that you know this stuff. So you can as well go to the industry and start working. We are just looking for the attitude and motivation that you are really willing to do these things. We'll see mistakes in that. Then we do a technical interview for you. In the technical interview, what I'm basically looking at, I'm mostly the one who takes the interview, is the attitude in the student. Are you somebody willing to learn? You might give me the best code, but if I find a negative attitude, I might not take you in. So I normally take the students based on the attitude they give me. If they are willing to learn, I bring them on board, and then we work as a team. It is not like a student or professor relationship. We work as a team, the way we did it with Psyche, and now we are sitting together with Psyche in the same panel as a team. So getting in is 2 steps. The first step, you learn on your own. The second step, you take the technical assessment. And then the third step, you are with us in our team. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you so much. Appreciate that answer. Anybody else with a question? Questions are good. The only dumb question is the one that you had in your mind, but you didn't ask.
I have a question. Huh?
Go ahead, sir.
Yeah. Good evening, everyone.
Yeah.
My name is Joshua Muya. I'm at Oklahoma State University Center for Health Sciences. And I'd like to thank our speakers for coming to talk with us. I have a question, and it goes to everyone on the panel. And the thing is, first, do you think that you have done your best? And are you where you thought about it in the last 5 years or 10 years? And what are the challenges that you have faced, and how are you able to overcome them? And as a Black person in this country, I mean, it's not anyone who knows that it's not easy unless you're working in a very isolated environment. It's not easy. So how are you able to go through this environment at the same time playing it cool, and at the same time being assertive, that you are the person that not be judged by the color of skin or whatever, but by the content of your brain?
Mm-hmm.
All right, and I'll give it back to the panel to go in the same order of presentation.
Sure. So thanks, Joshua, for the question. I'll say, you have to know what you bring on the table. I think that's where I would start. Knowing the value and what I'm able to bring on the table, I think has helped me to be a voice that people will stop and listen to what you're saying. Has it always been like that? No. I remember, especially when I came to the US, just like Psyche, I didn't have a lot of experience with computers. I remember the introduction to computers classes. I was one of the least experienced students. But one thing I had noticed, I had done some programming courses back in Kenya. And one of the professors, who was a very highly regarded professor from Jomo Kenyatta University, told me, dude, I like the way you reason through problems, right? Those times, actually, we didn't have enough computers. We used to write code on a piece of paper. And he could see the way I was writing the code. And he told me, I like the way you think through problems. I like that. Make sure you don't lose that. So when I came here, I was like, I might not know a lot of stuff, but I still kept remembering what that professor told me. So the one-on-one classes were frustrating, because I'm like, man, these people expect me to know, how do you go to a Word document and you're supposed to apply colors. That was frustrating stuff for me, because I was like, this is not programming, this is not what I'm looking for. But you have to go through that for you to get a degree, I guess. So I kept, as I said, I had people I was talking to, I'll go say, this is frustrating, I don't like it because of ABC. And they'll say, stay at it, don't give up. And I had people, I remember when we started our computer information system degree, I think we were 106 or 110 students. And by the time we graduated 4 years later, we were only 23 students. So it's not an easy course, it's tough. And I remember one time, it was my first Java class. I had a professor, he was from Egypt. And I was just doing enough to pass, not to fail the class. And the guy could know, man, this guy is joking, and I know you're better than that. So he called me to his office and he told me, Eldad, guess what? I'm going to fail you this class. I want you to register for this class, take it again. And this time I want you to be serious, to show that you're a serious programmer, because I know you are. And you need to have the same thing Dennis said, you have to have the right attitude, because that will take you places, right? And I took that class again. And I thought, I knew all about what Java 101 and all that stuff was, but my attitude was not right. My mind was not in the right place. And that's what he was trying to adjust. So I always have tried to catch myself to say, is my attitude right? So I'll try to have the right attitude. And then at the end of the day, I let my work speak for me. That doesn't mean that, if somebody comes across, trying to intimidate you, that I'll be quiet. I'll speak up, because I know what my right is, and I know I won't be at the company I'm working for if I'm not qualified to be there. So you have to remember that, and you have to be assertive when you need to be assertive. Because come on, we've come too far for us to just be, right? You have to believe in yourself, and you have to continue pushing the envelope. And then maybe to wrap it up, Joshua asked about, looking back, am I where I thought I was going to be 5 years back? I would say, yeah. I've kind of surprised myself in that I'm very new in cybersecurity. You know, when I was on the outside, I thought, you know, cybersecurity is something that is so unique that I needed a lot of training. But then I realized I was always training to be in cybersecurity. It's the same thing that you're doing. It's just a different mindset. The way you're looking at things is what is different. But as Psyche and Dennis said, if you are interested in technology, you can do it. You just need to have the mindset to know, okay, today I don't know this, but tomorrow I'll know it, right? So every day I'm learning something. I can't say that I know everything that is out there. There are still things that I learn. And you have to have that attitude of saying, today I don't know this, but I'll learn it, and tomorrow I'll be a better person because of that. That will be, that has been my approach towards this career, and you know, it has been fun.
Fantastic. So I'll start with even the big question first, like if I'm where I thought I would have been like 5 years ago. And I might even surprise myself by saying yes, even though I'm a career shifter in a lot of ways. But one of the things I think that's always kind of anchored me is I like problem solving, and I like to be innovative in the way I approach problem solving. So tech just presented new opportunities for me to be able to do that. So I love the number of things that Eldad said that I would love to even just echo, that so much about what we do is about your way of thinking. One of the things I did when I went to Claim Academy is I did the Java full stack program. The company I work for codes in Python and Lua. So I'm coding in brand new languages to me. It's been a completely interesting experience as a brand new coder. But one of the things I took away from Claim Academy is not just this is how you write Java code. This is how you approach logical thinking. This is how you approach solving a problem. And whether I'm writing in Lua, a C language that I've never even studied C languages, or if I end up doing the work in Python that our real backend engineers do, it doesn't matter. It's a way of thinking. And that's the kind of thing I've been kind of afforded the privilege to do. One of the things on my team is a lot of times when you get on new tech teams, there's a way that you do things. We have full freedom in the way we approach solving a problem for the client that we're working on, which has been both a really exciting thing, but sometimes scary as somebody who's new to coding. So it's just about being kind of fearless, being relentless. One of the things I loved about Claim Academy, which Danish kind of talks about, we were teams. So I could always consult with somebody, whether it's him, one of the mentors, one of the people in my cohort. When you get stuck, that's not the end of the world. There's a way you can go to Stack Overflow and look out, because there's chances that somebody else has already tackled some part of this problem. Even if it's not exactly what you need to do, there's something there that you can draw insights from, and that's how you kind of like build the code, and that's how you solve problems. Like I don't ever go in, like today alone, I was working on an integration that was like really tough because the data was this huge, messy mess. And then they wanted to be able to pull a particular skill out of it. And I thought I would go in one way and ended up having to solve it a completely different way. But being open to that, not getting frustrated just because something isn't going your way, because it's not always easy. You kind of have to be a little bit relentless. But that way of thinking, I really kind of want to emphasize that. You've got to be kind of relentless there and find solutions and be creative. A lot of the things I've always been interested in, and a lot of things that women sometimes really excel at too, right? Not to like put all the other men on blast, but like women are really good at that. So it's always surprising to me that we don't have more women present in this field in general. What else? So am I happy where I am? Absolutely. For a first tech position in a new to me career, I feel kind of blessed for this opportunity because I get to work on a really good small team. It's a team that was only developed last year when they realized, whoa, clients want a whole lot more skills and expertise out of the bot, and we need to do this to API integrations. Again, that's something I didn't really learn a lot at Claim, but Claim taught me how to approach problems, and that's something I really took away, and that's really helped me to do well. I got good news this week. A lot of times with tech positions, you do start off kind of on a trial basis where they give you like a short-term contract. And I got rave reviews from my team and higher ups, and they were like, no brainer. We definitely want to extend your contract and hire you like full time. So like you, again, your work can, make sure your work kind of represents you, and you're diligent and you're relentless. And again, it's a way of thinking, and you don't always go into a problem knowing what the solution is, but your thinking can get you there.
I'll pick up from where Psyche has left and where Eldad has said something. Eldad said something that you need to speak up for yourself. And Psyche has summarized this thing and saying that it is a way of thinking. Now, I want to bring up this element whereby I think is Joshua who has asked, really, how do you see yourself where you are, if I may rephrase the question, and the challenges you face as an immigrant, and two, about the color of your skin. So I see those are the three main things here, which came in saying that being a Black person and where you are and the last part. So I want to address it from what Eldad has said, that you need to speak for yourself. Now, this does not mean carrying billboards everywhere and going to speak for yourself. Speak for yourself in the technology. Take your resume and tell these people, you know what, I'm a full stack Java developer. These are the applications I can develop. This is the technology I know. So you are speaking for yourself in a very silent, non-offensive way, where you say, this is what I can do. So this is what I'm bringing on board in this team. They will really want to be with you in that team because you have spoken for yourself. It doesn't matter where you came from. You say, you know what? I have this certification in Java. I have this certification in cybersecurity. You are actually still speaking for yourself. Now, am I where I'm supposed to be? Basically, in that question, it is kind of yes and no, because where I'm supposed to be is basically to change so many people's lives, to see so many students enjoy what they're doing. I'm really happy seeing Psyche here. I'm really happy seeing Eldad here. So am I happy where I am? I am happy where I am. So I can say, and what gives me the energy to be happy where I am is by seeing you also being happy where you are. Because even if I'm happy being where I am and I'm seeing you not happy being where you are, then basically we don't have an humanity left. It's only me and you are there. So I feel like I'll summarize it by saying that it all depends on how you speak for yourself and knowing how to speak for yourself. Use the silent way to speak for yourself. Let your education speak for yourself. Let your skills speak for yourself. Let your teamwork speak for yourself. Let your positive energy speak for yourself. Drop all the other things which we normally see everybody trying to speak about. Speak in a silent way and you will be somewhere.
Oh my goodness. This is IT people being so positive. At some point, I thought these are, you wonder whether it's still the IT people picking up and pulling up our positivity, the problem solving aspect. And I think that you guys are awesome. You just don't know. I mean, if you thought you were there, you're not there yet. You're awesome. You just don't know. Because to make people understand that we have moved from where people are hiring you because of just what you know, it's the attitude that you're bringing in. The positivity is not something we can emphasize more than what you guys have done. People who use the power of positivity face the same disappointment and challenges and stresses in life like everyone else does. The difference is that they choose to react to those challenges by finding a productive and positive way to cope and respond. And I think that's what you guys are telling us. It's the attitude that we bring in everything that is posted to us. And I don't know how we can beat it better than what you're saying. It is not more of what we are, where we are. It is, are we happy with where the people that we influence are? Because that's how change will be measured. I truly appreciate that. We have a couple questions coming here that I want to throw to you that have been posted. And I think that the next one is, I did a launch code bootcamp, graduated, but I did not think I am very comfortable with reading people's code. And that has given me fear to apply for a job. How do you overcome this fear? A whiteboard to be precise. And please talk about entry-level positions. Also, there's another question on that. So if you want to note that. does Claim Academy offer online training? What other trainings flexibility do you have? And then there was another question here, and this was for you, Eldad. Please touch a bit about certifications in cybersecurity. Which certifications would you recommend, especially to those who want to make a career shift with non-computer science background? Another one, student in high school and college interested in pursuing these careers. What should they focus on? Where do they start? I don't know whether those are too many questions, but measuring by how you guys have been talking, I think that's nothing for you. So if you guys want to respond to them as they are, and then, if you want to leave it to based on expertise, it's up to you. Thank you so much.
Okay, let me go in on this, the whiteboard. Now, most of the times when we release students from the academy, we normally try to follow them and see how they take their technical interviews in the companies. And the person is saying that he did graduate from a boot camp, but still there's a level of not feeling comfortable at all. It normally happens a lot, and I want to bring in Psyche Southwell to share with you her story at a point where she was also not so comfortable at all, and what happened to make her comfortable. So Psyche, if you can share with us your side on what to do to be comfortable after the boot camp.
Yeah, absolutely. It's practice. Practice. Keep coding, keep writing it. Like, the more you do it, the more comfortable you become with it. But just remember, when I started this bootcamp, because I saw another question in there about, how does Claim Academy deal with people who had zero knowledge in this area? That was me. What did I do this? Last July, right? Last June, end of June, July. That's last year. Prior to that, I had zero coding experience. So the reason why, I'll just add quickly here, the reason why I decided to choose a bootcamp, because I knew I wanted to learn a lot of information and really fast, really quickly. So I wanted to look to people who were expertise in the field. One of our instructors is at MasterCard. Another one is a huge person working on a government really high top security position. They were able to tell you very specifically, look, this is kind of what you need to do. There are all these data structures, but these are what you're going to use most of the time. So there are things that we kind of fast track over and we learn, but I wanted that person who would be able to say, hey, this is what you really need to do. This is what from my field experience, this is what you need to focus on. But like Dennis said, at the end of it, you get into technical interviews and you're if something doesn't kind of quite look like the way you expected it to look, it could be intimidating. It could throw you off. I've had more than one fairly bad technical interview where I didn't excel. But guess what? If I got that really tough one that one time, there's no way I could have gotten the same kind of technical question again, and I wasn't ready for it. So you went in, you learned, you figured out what you needed to do, you practice and practice. There's so many online websites available to help you kind of fine tune and sharpen your skills to actually get to do a whole lot better. I did the tech interview for my current position. It was an entire API integration test. That's one of the things we didn't do at Claim Academy at all, but I wasn't going to be I don't know how to do APIs. I've never really worked with them. I don't know what to do with the data. What's JSON? I was I'm not going to say that. The online, there's information, and I did it. And luckily they gave me a few hours so I could do it on my own time. So you go and you figure it out. So one of the things that you do, you pick up certain skills, certain approaches to problem solving. You do pick up certain trends in that. And that's one of the things bootcamp and doing it that route was really helpful. But the more you practice, whether you do a formal bootcamp or you do some online course or a launch code, I saw someone mention here, there are many opportunities to really fine tune those skills, but you get better and you get more confident the more you do it. So I'll end on that one there.
And maybe I can chime in on that a little bit. So I've sat on, I don't know how many interview panels, especially for entry-level positions. I know you're not an expert, but I'm looking at how you're thinking through the problem. So if sometimes you might not even be able to write the code, but if you walk me through the problem, I'm looking at how I'm presenting a problem. How do you break it down? How do you find where to start? And all that, right? And I remember there's an interview for the person who said, I know I'm not going to be working by myself. I'll be working on a team. At this point, I'll go to my team and ask the question. And I think a few months later, we had that person, and they have been very successful, right? So we keep going to the same thing. I'm looking at how you're solving the problem. It's your problem-solving skill, and then remembering that you're not an island, you're working with a team, right? That team becomes your resource, right? So you can't sit there pretending you know something and you don't know something. You have to be vulnerable to go say, you know what, I don't know what to do here. And it's okay, right? Because next time you'll be ready. You know more, right? So I would say don't be afraid to not start, because that will be unfortunate. You need to, there are so many resources out there. You can have people like, I know Geoffrey, he wouldn't mind coming and going to the internet and finding questions that you can be asked on a technical interview and sitting there and practicing, right? Do that. Go in front of a mirror and pretend this question was asked to me, how would I do it? You have to do whatever it takes, right? I remember my first interview. I did my very first interview out of college at New York with Freddie Mae before they went under. And my interview panel, I thought was going to be 2 or 3 people. There were 12 people, and I freaked out. I was like, oh my goodness, this is bad. I don't know. Now in my head, I'm like, man, all these guys are experts in their space. Everybody will ask me everything I don't know. And so people started asking questions. I was like, I have to be quick at thinking about, I have to eliminate anybody who is not a programmer here. I need to be left with people who are programmers. And so somebody will ask a question, and if I knew the context of that, for example, if they say, how do you do iteration in Java? I will ask, how do you do iteration? And I'll ask them, do you want me to answer that using .NET or Java? If somebody is not a programmer and that was a question written for them, they'll back out. They are not going to ask you anything else. And I was left with 3 people as I expected that were programmers, right? And then at that point, I was like, I was in my comfort zone. So you have to survive. You have to be quick to think and try to, to come up with answers. And if not, worst case scenario, you have to also be okay going for an interview and saying, you know what, I didn't do well. Run from that interview, you be ready for the next one, right? So you have to always be saying, what am I running from that experience, right? It might not have been perfect, but it's an opportunity for you to learn. If you don't do those interviews, guess what? You don't learn what an interview looks like, right? So that would be my take on that.
Thank you.
Just to add on something which he has said here, he said that there's an interview he took and he did not know much, but he says that he knows he's going to work in a team. I was talking to one of the recruiters who normally recruit our students, and they say that sometimes when you come in to a team, they give you a very difficult challenge, which is going to break you so that you can understand the aspect of working in a team. What I will say for the person who is saying that I don't feel confident enough, one thing you need to do is try to see which part does not make you confident. It is not the whole program. There's a specific area which you feel, this is the area which I don't feel confident about. You are not alone. Reach out to so many people. Reach out to us. Reach out to Geoffrey. We are ready to work you until we bring you to a point where you feel, now I feel a little bit confident. Then we let you go. So find that part which makes you not feel confident. It might not be the whole code. It might maybe being a database, MVC. Let us know.
I think there was a question on cybersecurity certifications. For that, I'll say CompTIA has a very good certification. I'm typing what I'm talking about. Has really good certifications, but then it depends with where you want to start, right? If I know what I know now, a very, I don't want to oversimplify this, but if I had a route that would get me to cybersecurity quicker, would be like a network engineer of some kind. Because once you understand those basics, you are working with like firewalls and all that stuff. So that's pretty much you're already there. A lot of cybersecurity is understanding how you're protecting stuff, how you figure out like if there is a problem inside your network and so on and so forth. So I'll do that. there are a lot of people online with YouTube channels teaching you things like pen testing, which is you write code that will test other code. I'll listen to those. It depends, right? There's not one way to say this is the golden goose for me to be in cybersecurity. I'll be interested to see what your interests are, and then I can be able to advise you accordingly. But again, I don't want you to walk away from here fearing that, you know, I have to go and do a master's or go to college or do a certification. If really your passion is I want to be in cybersecurity, you can start somewhere. I just need to understand maybe your background or what you are doing currently, and then maybe I can be able to point you to something that where you can start, right? And then I just saw Google is releasing some online courses they are going to be hosting for people, and I think they are giving, most of them are pretty cheap. They are like $200 or something like that. I'll look into that to see whether they have anything from a cybersecurity perspective. But for anybody who doesn't have any background in computer science or anything, CompTIA is a good place to start, and I'll start maybe with the networking stuff and then build from there. So if you go to their website, they'll tell you which is the which certification that you can start with, and then you can build up from there. I don't know if I'm clear on that, but let me know. Geoffrey, whoever that person was, maybe you can connect me with them. I'll be more than willing to listen to where they are and see what we can do to get them to where they want to go.
Another option is on our panels, if you can share your email or contact, if you're comfortable doing that. I think most of the people will show, or an email you think that is convenient for you where people can shoot some of the questions to you.
I thoroughly enjoyed this program tonight. I would say this in 3 stages. First of all, these guys have been very positive, and I thank them for that. But the real world in America is different. So, I mean, we who came in the early 90s, it was very tough. And you now, this country has evolved. So that now with the propensity of the diversity inclusion, I think is a lot has improved. But let me say this as an encouragement and warning. We Africans already defeat ourselves. We kind of claim that victim mentality by saying we are black. Forget about that. It's who you are, the content and your knowledge and your skill. So we have to rub completely off that we are black. Otherwise, life will be difficult. I work among predominantly white Germans, and it wasn't easy. But I saw myself as an authentic person who is equal to all of them. That's the one experience I want to share. The next thing is the sister from Jamaica. I love Jamaican food, so please send your contact to Geoffrey, and I'll follow up with him. I hope you promise to do that. Thirdly and finally, I am very novice. I'm a theologian. I'm very novice to this world, your world. So the guy who spoke about cyber technology, please, very, very simple in a layman term, define what cyber technology is all about. I hear it often been thrown around and it's scaring. So can you inform? And finally, I think Jeff will do us a world of good if you can start organizing workshop for us, the novice, on some of these very crucial, important seminars that you're putting up. So Jeff, take that as an encouragement, but also to help enhance. You're doing a lot, and I bow my head to you. bravo, but consider having workshop for some of us who may not have the funding nor the connection, but we have all these accesses to this wonderful program. So whoever wants to answer the last point, please go ahead. Thank you, Mr. Moderator.
You're welcome. And as you answered that one, I think I can add more to that as you answer his question. I think it's very important, we might be throwing these terms there, but people don't know whether we are talking about medication. Or, it's good that we kind of define them too, but I know we have very short time to do all these things. But there was a question where somebody was asking, what does CRAIM help people with knowledge and experience in programming, but are getting hard to get an entry job? And there was another one for CLAIM where they asked, look at it here. What are CLAIM Academy opportunities that are available to those located out of state? And what are the question? I think that's those two. So while you're answering those ones, I know they're not for you, but I think, Eldad, if you could just define cybersecurity for them, and then we can hand over to the CLAIM. Thank you.
So cybersecurity has to do with if you think about all this software and the environment there. Can you guys hear me?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Absolutely.
Okay, it went quiet. I was like, okay, am I still on? Okay. So cybersecurity has to do with anything that is touching the internet and how you protect it. That's the very basic of how I can define what cyber is. But if you think about something as simple as our phone, right? It touches the internet, and how do you protect? Say you are with T-Mobile to make sure that if you call somebody, that phone call is secure. If you're accessing your bank account from your phone, that is secure, right? So cyber has to do with that, right? At the most layman I can go is that I can get more technical than that, but it's how do you secure stuff that is using the internet to communicate and to transact businesses and so on and so forth.
That's brilliant. And I think your problem solving skills were able to be depicted in answering that question. So that is awesome.
Thanks.
I will go in on the two questions for CLAIM Academy, one on the entry level jobs. So on the entry level jobs, what we do for our students, apart from training you in the programming skills, on the second phase, we normally do some soft skills for you, where we do some mock interviews for you, try to prepare you for what you might face at the industry. We just try to give you a preparation of what happens. We look at your resume, try to see, is this something which is going to impress the other person on the other table? Can it impress me as your instructor or me as the person who is mentoring you? So we look at that, and then we have a company engagement manager who keeps on posting these jobs to our students on a daily basis. We bring in some of our alumni also to talk to our students on how did they succeed in getting their first entry-level job. So basically, we give you whatever you need to make sure that you're going to get this job. We don't have the jobs per se, but we prepare you and we send you out there positively, knowing that you're going to get something.
Add on just quickly to that, it is a really tough market out there, but I must even say the one position that was a clear yes for me when I got that offer, I never applied to it. Claims department had a connection at that company. They were like, who do you think would be a good fit? I came up. So they do have a really good network, and that's one of the benefits of going to boot camp route.
Thank you. I think 2 more minutes and then we'll probably jump into something else. I think the next question was to Eldad, talk a little bit about cloud computing or storage. And I think the question somebody had was, what is AWS? Probably a couple minutes, touch a little bit on that.
So AWS is Amazon Web compute systems. It's if you think about the way technology is moving, before we used to have these big data centers that had servers, and then each company owed theirs. Like instead of that, we have big companies like Microsoft has their own cloud called Azure, Oracle has one, Amazon has a cloud service. So almost majority of big companies that are in tech have some form of cloud technology, or they are sub-leasing cloud space from other big players like Amazon or Microsoft or Google. And then, so instead of me hosting or deploying my software in a server inside a building somewhere, you're doing it in a virtual space that is hosted by somebody else, right? What was the other part of the question? So that's what the basis of a cloud is. You're leasing somebody else's data center, and then they are providing you with virtual machines where you can deploy whatever you're working on, right?
Yeah, I think.
Was it about certifications or something?
They mentioned about. Correct.
Okay. So yeah, there are certifications out there. Amazon has a bunch. Microsoft is the easiest to start with, but you can start anywhere. Like anybody can get a free, I believe for Amazon, you can get 60 days. I'm not 100% sure. It has been a minute since I did that. It's about 4 or 5 years back. But you get a free account, and in that free account, you can be able to start playing with what cloud technology is, trying to bring up virtual machines, trying to deploy some code and so on and so forth. Maybe Dennis can speak on that aspect. But again, YouTube has a lot of people that will show you, oh, this is what you need to do, right? So if you're interested in that, again, I'll just go to introduction to Amazon Cloud or Microsoft Azure, and then from there see what that entails, right? And there are bootcamp out there that you can take, and then you can be able to do certifications and all that. So there are so many ways to go about it. Again, if you have additional questions, reach out, and I can give more specifics. But just know, like right now, it's way better to be able to to get into anything you want versus some years back. It wasn't this easy. Anything that you can think about, I'm telling you, there's somebody out there waiting to train. And for the most part, it's not as expensive as going to college. And I'm not here to this. If you want to go to college, that's good, but that's not a requirement. So I don't want you to stop yourself to be saying, hey, I don't have a degree, I don't have that. If you desire to be in that space, there's a way to get there, right? You just need to talk to people, connect to people, and come talk to us, right? To the expert. And as I finish, I'll say, actually, majority of the company, including there, right now doesn't require you to have a degree for you to be a developer, right? Majority of the companies have dropped that requirement. So if that's a trend with big companies, that tells you you can do it, right? It's not a matter of, I don't have a degree, I don't have that. So cancel that out of your brain completely. It's about you saying, where do I want to start? Who can come alongside me to help me be on that journey? But it's a lot of work on your end, but it's doable, right? We've done it. I don't see why you can do it.
Thank you so much. Due to time constraint, I was actually given up to 7:15. I'll hand this to Geoffrey, and with his own discretion, he can see if there is another question that he can probably read one question, but at that point, he'll make a decision whether he can go past that. But I want to thank everybody who participated, and our facilitators, thank you so much, and our panel, thank you so much, and I'll hand this over to Geoffrey, then we can make that decision. Thank you so much.
Right. Thank you so much, everyone. Thank you so much to our speakers. I think that is wonderful, wonderful. Like I said, I just felt like I should be talking to you guys every Monday to be charged for the week. It's very, very inspiring to listen to you guys. And thank you so much, Sebastian, for that moderating the event. Very good. I appreciate everybody for your great questions. I agree the time is really, really gone. We cannot be able to answer all the questions today. We have a couple of series or a couple of forums that we will continue holding on this topic and other topics. So, and I think the presenters, the speakers today, they gave out their email on the chat. If you want to follow up with either of them, they are generous enough to share the information. If not, we have our email there and our phone number. Reach out to us and we can be able to give you the right direction. One thing I'll say is that the Claim Academy has great programs. You can be able to go to their website. I provided it on the chat. The other programs also in St. Louis, Launch Code is also another program in down St. Louis. You can also, I think I gave out their contact there on their email. But if you have any questions or anything to do with that, you can always reach out to us and we can be able to point you to the right direction. I'm listening to the speakers and all these skills that they're talking about. And after working with the youth, I feel a lot of big burden because they don't have those skills. And it worries me that when we try to give them that opportunity to build on it, they seem not to see it. But looking at the market or the industry or maybe the America that we are looking for, I mean, for them, they're more likely to face in the next five years. Unless we start now building them, equipping them with those skills, it's going to be a big challenge for them to be able to survive or even to build their career in different, not just technology, but also in different fields. So I take it up a challenge, and I also challenge the parents in the forum. If you have a kid who is maybe from 3rd grade all the way, reach out to us. We have programs that are going on right now for public speaking. And high school, they are a little bit dragging themselves, but I think a lot of middle school, they're doing very well. It's a skill that they will not learn in class, but if you have an opportunity for us to be able to give them that opportunity, we need the input of the parents and we can be able to help them be able to be more prepared for this. I think I wanted to share a little bit about the upcoming events so that we can also know what's coming next. You can also go to our website and be able to sign up for those upcoming events. At least almost every week or every other week, there is something coming up. And if you look at that is for today, you go down on 26, we have a second conversation between the African immigrants and Africans America. The first session was very interactive and very informative. This one will be talking about marriage and gender. We all know a lot of intermarriages are happening between our community and our families, and we need to prepare our kids on that. And then on March 31st, St. Louis Economic Development Partnership, they will be doing a great presentation about business opportunities that are there for the minority. Whether you're starting business or you've been in a business, this is a great platform for you to log in and build the connections, build the network. The speaker says, you don't know, speak up, you don't know who you're meeting with. And then on April 9, we have online business. Right now, everybody's going online. And if you're doing business and you're not taking advantage of your online marketing, online opportunity, then it might be a challenge for your business. And then on April 15th, we have our second Building Momentum speaker series for this year. With great speakers who will be able to share the experiences as immigrants and as refugees. Then we have our forum for the youth on April the 17th. So keep on checking that, share that information. You can just go there and just click that and sign up. Save on your calendar so that you don't miss any of these meetings. The other thing I always say, you can do a simple thing. Just go to our website, like our Facebook, like our Twitter, like our YouTube. And also on our website, if you go there to keep us going and keep us more active in the community and be able to impact more life, there is a website at the end. You can go there and donate. I can't see it from this one. Yeah, just click here and you can be able to give your donations to keep us running and impacting more people. Other than that, thank you so much. Thank you, Psyche. Thank you, Dennis. Thank you, Eldad. Thank you, Sebastian. And thank you, everyone who logged in. We all love you. Wish you a nice weekend and be blessed.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you.
My name is Nicholas Ngige.
My name is Sebastian.
I am Patavi. I'm Grace Mary Nganga. I'm Ruth.
Diane Stevenson.
Jen McGaddy.
Samir Kadewa.
Christina Vivid.
Safi Uzaye.
Jaja Uzaye.
Agatha Kinethia.
Faiza.
Dr. John Mwangi.
My name is Njoroge Weeks, and I am with Otieno for Africa.
I am with Nintendo for Africa. I am with Nintendo for Africa. And I am with
Nintendo for Africa.
I am with.
I am with
I am with Nintendo for Africa.